there's a serious need in the marketplace and where you're at right now for breath control. So breathing is at the core of calmness and confidence and focus and endurance. And it's a huge part of your business. There are working professionals, there are athletes, and there are extreme athletes. And so when we talk to working professionals and they're trying to solve the problem, they usually use some type of yoga like a pranayama or some other type of breathing technique in order to actually handle their breath and their stress and that sort of thing. Then we move into the middle section, which is athletes. And typically the thing that athletes use most is cardio. And the idea is like, if I need more air and I need more energy, et cetera, I'm going to go run, or I'm going to hop on a treadmill, or I'm going to go on an exercise bike, or I'm going to do some aerobic fitness or something like that. And then when you go to the outer extreme, then you have these extreme performance type of training solutions, et cetera. And you have typically high altitude, high intensity, crazy stuff like, Wim Hof or whatever, just, go do some really funky breathing stuff and then go run in the Appalachians Mountains or something. Now, here's the big slide right here. When I took the X and the Y axes of your business, and I looked at this particular problem first to start off with, I said, what is the athletic ability of the people that are solving this problem? And what is the level of exercise that they were doing? And so when I looked at the low athletic ability and also the low exercise level, that's kind of where yoga fit in. And when I started to overlap it, I said, okay, it kind of goes into the center. It starts off, but basically working professionals, if they need some type of breath solution in that, they'll go towards yoga. Then in the middle, as we started to get to athletes, and all the way from low to high, from basically playing football all the way through to even extreme sports, then that was where people typically would adopt something like running. And they would have this complementary thing that they would do in order to help them boost their performance. It's like, I want to play football better. I'm gonna run 5 miles every day. And then on the outer end, that's where I started to find these extreme junkies. But when you look at the quadrants here, this is a really interesting dissection. Is in the extreme in the top right, that quadrant is small. And where you guys are located right now is that if I were to replace running with deep in fitness, you can see that you have the biggest market potential for any athlete who needs cardio in order to better perform in their existing space. Okay, but here's the big thing right here. Breath is not the answer. So when I looked at breath alone, it leaned towards the outer extremes. If someone wanted to do it more for a sport, they actually would nudge more towards an extreme. And if they wanted it to do it more for a professional, they would nudge more towards yoga. So this middle space was kind of a space that was, one, cardio already answered the problem that we were at. So according to our equation, when we talk about if someone already owns the problem, and you have to own a different problem. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't occupy the same space, but what it means is you have to own a different problem. So deep in fitness programs offer more than breath control. And this is where I was talking with Dawn earlier, and I'm glad I got this early gut check, is that this isn't an exercise in a fitness program for breath alone. This provides multiple options and benefits, and going only on breath shortchanges it. But underwater sports training is, okay? And so underwater sports training, if you've looked at the recent articles since 2019, there is a flurry of articles publishing up where you see things like the future of sports training could be underwater. Some Raiders and 49ers are at the forefront. The latest trend is underwater fitness and underwater sports training. And underwater, and it's a bigger category, and it gets to a bigger problem because one of the aspects of it is breath control, obviously. You're underwater, you can't breathe. But it has these benefits of low impact and high resistance fitness. So it's great as a complementary sport because you don't get hurt doing this. It has mental failure tolerance. This was huge. And this is the thing, as when I jumped into the pool and I saw the biggest benefit, of this, I said, wow, you actually really get to deal with the whole mental aspect of failing and being at a loss of air and water. The next thing was communal. So you have a circle of trust, you have a fitness group, and you have a no
flex zone.
Huh?
No flex zone.
Yeah, no flex zone. So you really got something here where it's supportive, it's communal, and it's less cost. So that's huge too, because when we look at an extreme type of solution that, you know, wants you to go on a day for like $5,000 versus, you know, go with you at programs that are starting roughly at like, you know, $25 and whatever, huge freaking difference, wide open market. And then the last one was industry momentum. And when I saw this, I said, holy crap, you guys are sitting on the verge of and in the forefront of the next, basically, fitness revolution. Now, when we look at deep in fitness, this is already the rising category leader in the new market trend. You're established, it's been proven, and you're already receiving, it's been publicized. You're already having news and articles and people talking to you, etc. So you are already a pioneer and a leader in this space, even though what you're doing right now is focusing more on UTL. We are sitting on basically the ultimate type of training that can help you outperform in your space. So the positioning that I came up with it follows this logic. Calm is the key to outperformance. Training underwater creates mind and body calmness. Deep in fitness is the leader in underwater fitness. The problem is no longer breath. The problem is calmness. And so check this out.
Yeah.
I built the triangle based on what you guys offer as a business, and around these three things: breath, focus, and gains. So breath is, and one of the things I do is I strip everything down. So I remove the VO2, I remove the CO2 tolerance, etc. But I want everything in plain English that everyone understands. Breath, you can manage exhaustion with increased lung capacity and a decreased muscle failure from CO2, basically. You know,
Yeah.
From focus, you can increase mental fortitude with military-inspired water confidence training. So we're taking something that is purely military and we're applying this to a mental discipline. So there's your focus. And then in gains, we can improve functional physical performance with low impact and high resistance workout routine. What we want to do now is create your revolution. So we want to build a new fitness stack. Speeding up your heart rate for longer periods of time does not make you perform better as an athlete, nor mentally prepare you to handle mind and body failure. This is our statement. Calm in competition creates outperformance. And the new way to be calm mentally and physically is to condition yourself underwater. Deep in fitness, leading the underwater fitness revolution.
Dude, you're genius.
That was amazing.
And it's a way. It's two things. One is like the category design and choosing a category is something that I've heard so much about. So it's something that we needed to do and latch onto, and then just how simple you made it. You explained everything as simple as possible.